Okay, it's 8:30 now here on this Thursday. We've got Dr. April Ritz from Effingham Pelvic Health and Wellness joining us on the show today. Good morning.
Good morning on this beautiful day.
Yeah, beautiful day out there, isn't it? Yeah, and of course, you're on Facebook Live as well, so you can see Dr. Ritz as well as here on the radio. And if people don't know about Effingham Pelvic Health and Wellness, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we are a physical therapy clinic that specializes in any pelvic floor issues such as bladder, bowel, pelvic pain conditions, abdominal pain, low back, hip pain. We are physical therapists, like I said, who just specialize more in, I say, from diaphragm and below, but we do treat the entire body, including neck issues, shoulder issues as well. So our clinic is a specialty clinic. We're the only clinic within 86 miles of Effingham that specializes 100% in pelvic rehab.
Wow.
And you're
amazing.
located right here in town at 4th and Evergreen, right?
You've got it. Yep.
Yeah, and just got a nice new parking lot there, too.
Yeah, so we can fit more people and people don't have to park on the road.
There you go. So yeah, so you're joined in house though too. You've got a couple other physical therapists with you, don't you?
Yes, Dr. Kyla Burton and Dr. Katie Seymour Summers, and we are hiring too. We need more help, so we are busy.
All right, very good.
That's a good problem to have, right?
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. So you've been busy though too. You've been out of town for a little bit.
Yes, I was in Houston. Got back last week, beginning of last week. I went to a pelvic floor conference. It's actually the National Physical Therapy Conference of 15,000 physical therapists, and then they have like different tracks you can go to in classes. And of course, I took a lot of pelvic health classes and learned a lot of different things to bring back to the clinic, including helping like males with ED and testicular pain, managing constipation in adults and kids. And of course, we talked about this before, but the importance of postpartum care and rehab in our postpartum moms. So took several different classes, and I always love going to those conferences and just learning more.
Yeah, because you got to stay on top of things, don't you?
We do. And when I was there, I was introduced to a new technology that we are bringing to our clinic. It's coming from Switzerland.
Okay.
We should hopefully have it next week. But once we actually do the pelvic floor assessment on people, we know that they can contract and relax their pelvic floor muscles correctly and that they are appropriate for actually doing strengthening and Kegels. Because as you guys know before, I've talked about this. About 60% of our patients should not be doing Kegels or pelvic floor strengthening for their issues. They need to be focusing on relaxation. So once we figure out that they are appropriate for strengthening, this is a tool. It's actually like a plate that you can put on the chair, and it hooks up to a tablet, and they can play games and actually see their exercises fully dressed. So we don't have to do pelvic exams when they come in each session. And it's going to be great for the kiddos that I see as well. So they can just sit on this and like play games, and I can actually see without having to look at those muscles. Are they contracting? Are they relaxing? How long are they up to holding to work on like endurance and strength? So I'm really excited to bring that to our clinic.
Very good.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And there's lots of reasons why people in the community come to your clinic, isn't there?
There is. So we figured out our top 6 reasons why patients visited us last year. And a couple weeks ago, I went over the first 3, which was like bladder, pelvic pain, and pregnancy and postpartum issues. Today, I want to talk about our last 2, our orthopedic pain and bowel issues.
Okay.
So for orthopedic pain, people think, okay, what does that clinic really do? Like they see pelvic health. So like I said, the entire body affects the pelvic floor. From our jaw or TMJ issues, it's associated with pelvic pain and pelvic floor tension.
Okay.
But we address the whole body. So our clinic offers dry needling for any part of the body. Dr. Katie does that. And then we couple it with general physical therapy to improve long-term outcomes. So this is great for neck pain or hip pain, really anywhere in the body. So the conditions we say that definitely should be treated by our clinic are mid-back pain, low back pain, and hip pain. Because people don't realize the pelvic floor actually connects to the spine and tailbone. And those pelvic floor muscles are very similar, and some of the muscles are the exact same as the hip muscles. So if people aren't improving with their back pain or their hip pain, it could be a pelvic floor dysfunction playing a role in that. So I always tell people, like, don't, just because you haven't been able to get help with general therapy or chiropractic care, like don't forget that there's another piece of the component that could be missing before you think like all's doom and gloom and there's no more hope for you or you're gonna have to turn to surgery. And often the pelvic floor or constipation is completely overlooked when it comes to like back pain issues.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't think about it.
No, Had no idea that would necessarily be connected.
So these next few stats I have are actually primarily focused on women, but research shows that up to 95% of women with low back pain have pelvic floor dysfunction.
Wow.
That's high.
Yeah.
Another stat, pelvic floor dysfunction is 8 times more common in women. So this could be pelvic floor dysfunction, this could be pelvic pain, this could be urgency, overactive bladder. It is 8 times more common in women with low back pain than women without low back pain.
Okay.
Oh.
And another condition that we commonly see in the clinic is prolapse. And people don't realize that their back pain, when they call us, they don't tell us about their back pain because they tell us about their prolapse issues and their pelvic floor issues. But then we start asking questions. Low back pain and a pelvic organ prolapse, when that tissue is like descending into the vaginal canal, can they go together. So often we can address the prolapse and fix the underlying symptoms and get everything stronger or more relaxed, whatever we need to do, and the back pain completely goes away.
Wow.
So I always tell people, with men and women, we have to make sure our pelvic floor is coordinating well. We work on the core strength, the balancing the hip muscles, whether it's too tight or too weak. So it all goes together, and it's just a piece of the puzzle that a lot of people don't know about.
Okay. Very good. And of course, things like the bowels, you don't think about that with tied to the pelvic floor.
Yes. So up to 90% of people with chronic constipation have some degree of pelvic floor dysfunction as well. So I actually brought a chart that we use in the clinic a lot. It's our Bristol stool chart. It's our poop chart. So we ask a lot of questions around bowel issues, but one of the big ones is, what type is your stool? So are they type 1, like rabbit, like little rabbit turds? Or is it type 7, like watery diarrhea? Our ideal is type 4, sausage like smooth. We say like soft serve ice cream. But we're asking, like, how often are they going? What's the consistency? Is there any pain? Is there any straining? So some of the bowel conditions we treat, of course, chronic constipation, any bowel leakage or smearing. Or recently, we've had some patients that have been telling us that they go back later to wipe after a bowel movement, and they're like, wait, I was completely clean earlier. Where did this come from? That's an issue we address. As well as IBS, bowel urgency, any pain or straining with bowel movements, and then also like any rectal spasms, pain, or the sensation of like a golf ball sitting right there at that like rectal opening.
Okay.
And I'm guessing, just guessing, you still run into people who are uncomfortable talking about this sort of stuff, even with you guys. And it's really nothing that they should be afraid of or ashamed of or anything like that.
You are correct on that. People come to us with their main complaints, and we start digging into questions and asking more and more. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't really want to say this, but if it plays a role. And that's why we ask so many questions that are subjective, because people are afraid to tell us because it's embarrassing for some of them. And I'm like, we've heard it all. Just tell us everything so we can help you the best we can.
Yeah, definitely. So, and you always have classes at your location there too, and you've got one coming up here.
Yes, we are. I'm going to be wrapping those up in the next couple of months because I'll be going on maternity leave. But we do have our big one this Saturday. It is birth prep, not your standard hospital class. So this is a class that I teach from 8 a.m. to from 8 a.m. to 12:30 on Saturday.
Okay.
People can still register. It is meant for moms and dads to come together. And we go over all the things that women aren't taught if they're wanting more of like a physiologic vaginal delivery with trying to reduce interventions as much as possible. So we go over birthing positions, pushing positions, breathing techniques, things they should be doing during second and third trimester to help improve their experience. So it is a full 4.5-hour class. It is $200 and people can still register.
Okay.
We have a few spots left. So you can just call our office today or register online through our Facebook link under the event.
Okay.
And you're going to be practicing what you preach here pretty soon.
You got it. My husband, it'll be good practice for my husband and I again. He goes to all these classes with me so the dads don't feel alone. But we go over acupressure points, and it'll just be a good review for us as well with baby coming.
There you go. And of course, you got one coming up later on in March too.
Yes. So we have our last classes that we're doing after the birth prep class will be our perimenopause and menopause classes. And those typically do sell out. Tiffany Mosley and I will cover all things from perimenopause to menopause to help women ease that transition and just things that people should know. There's so much conflicting information out there. We do have one on March 26th at our clinic, Effingham Pelvic Health. And then May 1st, we'll be at Casey Coffee Company again. We'll be doing that.
Okay.
And that class is $25. And you can also call us to register or register online.
Okay, very good. Now, if people want to reach out, how's the best way to do that?
Honestly, just give our office a call. It's 217-705-5077. And if you want more information on our clinic in general, we have a website, EffinghamPelvicHealth.com, or follow us on Facebook or Instagram.
Do people need to be referred to you, or are you good to go if they just call you direct?
Great question. They can just call us directly. The only insurances that are kind of a pain to work with that do require referrals is Health Alliance and Consociate.
Okay.
So everybody else, just give us a call. We don't need a referral.
All right, very good. Well, Dr. April, thanks for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, glad to have you here, and always learn a lot when you come in.
We do. Yes, we do. Thanks, April, for being here. Sorry I'm a little late to the dance here.